During this Connected Investor Success Short, you'll hear 3 real estate investing pros explain exactly how to implement the strategies that made them millionaires. Brought to you by PrivateLenders.com, where real estate investors go to get private funding for all of their real estate investments. Make sure to check out the links in the description of this video for full lessons and free giveaways. Let's get started.
Now, I would describe our next guest as creative and driven. I'd like to introduce you to the one, the only, Ross Hamilton. Now, Ross, before the show, we broke down the 3 steps to investing: finding, funding, and flipping. Ross, can you break down step 1 for us?
To use Connected Investors to find properties, there are two main ways. Once you visit connectedinvestors.com, you sign up, you become a member of the Connected Investors social network, and you can start searching for properties that other investors are posting. So this is data that's unique to us. It's not found anywhere else. We've pulled together wholesalers, hundreds of thousands of wholesalers all around the United States, put their properties inside Connected Investors to sell them. So that is a data source that is not available anywhere else, and we're expanding that constantly, and it's 100% free for you to go in there. And when you sign up, you'll enter your cities and your states that you invest in, and you'll start getting these emails once a week that show you the latest investment properties in your area. So these are just investment-based properties.
Now, Ross, let me ask you this. Once someone does find the deal, what do they do for funding? How do they get that deal funded?
You use Connected Investors to find the deal. Now you said, hey, Ross, how do you fund the deal? And that's when people think about real estate, their biggest excuses are, well, I can't find deals, I can't fund deals, right? So Connected Investors kind of solves both of those problems. And we don't just say, hey, here's a list of private lenders, go reach out to them and call them. But if you do want to fund the deals, right inside the Connected Investors platform, every property right there has pre-vetted lenders attached to the property. So when you see the property, you can say get funding, and bam, you're talking with lenders right there that we have verified. And that verification takes a lot, because there are a lot of people who are tire kickers out there who they're pretend lenders, right? They're like, they know someone that knows someone, or someone promised them they're like illegal lenders, right? Is kind of what they are. So we've
they're brokering lending, huh?
They're brokering a broker, usually is what happens. Exactly. They're like 5 levels back. So they're just going to mark up the cost of capital. So we get you right to the source. You go to connectedinvestors.com/free. I'll give you a link right into that, and you can start talking with private lenders on deals that are in our platform and deals that aren't in our platform.
So Ross, once that deal you find the deal, you get funding for that deal, how do you flip it? What's the next step? How does flipping go about?
The easiest way to flip properties on Connected Investors is just to upload them. And the cool thing is you can literally, with our app, just take a picture of the property if you're in front of it and upload it. Bam. You don't have to add any information about the property if you don't want to. We already have it all. I know the square footage, the bed, the bath. I know the previous sale. I know the condition, roughly. Connected Investors knows everything already. So you basically just put in an address and a price, and bam, it gets emailed out to everyone that's following that location, and your phone starts ringing. You start getting a lot of Connected Investors reaching out to you. You sift through the tire kickers.
I'd like to introduce you to the one, the only, Hayden Flores. Hayden, thanks for being a guest on today's show.
Thanks for having me on here, Sean. Looking forward to adding some value to your listeners here.
So Hayden, let's dive into the steps to renovating investment properties to be more efficient. Now, before the show, we broke it down into 3 steps: contacting a consultant to diagnose energy needs, design a system, and go through the application process. Now, Hayden, can you break down step 1 for us, contacting a consultant to diagnose energy needs?
Oftentimes, a lot of this equipment can actually be subsidized by the federal or state governments. So what you want to do is contact a consultant, figure out some ways where you might be able to be more energy efficient, as well as learn a little bit more about the incentives and subsidies for getting a lot of that technology.
Well, that brings us into step 2, which is designing a system.
Yep, absolutely. So we first start off by looking at an electric bill that tells us how much energy a home or property uses. From there, we can plug that into our system and determine how many solar panels a property might need if the house is a good fit for solar. And then once we have that system designed, we'll tell you exactly how much energy it's going to produce and how much money they're going to save. And if it's a good fit, then we move on to step 3.
Now, the next step will be the third step, which is going through the application process.
Sure. So once we decide how much money you're going to save, we help you apply with the town for building permits. We help you apply with the utility company and with the installer and financiers. And then after that, we go out and get a site survey of the home. We take our pictures, make sure the home will qualify. Then we send you a final design, show you exactly what the system will look like, exactly how much energy it's going to produce. From there, we send you a final design, you sign off on it, we submit for permits. Once the building permits are approved, we get you installed. And it typically only takes a day to actually put the solar panels on the roof. And then after that, the utility company comes out, inspects it, makes sure it's up to code, and actually turns the system on so you can produce your own power and stop relying on the monopoly.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. And before the show, we discussed and broke it down into 3 steps on how using the infinite banking concept to your advantage can be a plus for you. And that first step that we came up with was becoming familiar with the concept. Can you break that down a little bit more for us, Sarry?
Yeah, definitely. So it's really important. The first step to get involved in the infinite bacon concept process is to understand what the concept is. And there's a lot of ways to learn. You could go to YouTube. You can go through podcasts. You could even read some books. A couple books I recommend. One of them is Becoming Your Own Banker by Nelson Nash. A second book is The Bank on Yourself Revolution by Pamela Yellen. Both are really good books. So if you like to read, so kind of figure out which way you like to learn, either reading, listening to podcasts, or watching YouTube videos, but learn the concept, become familiar with it.
That brings us to our next step, which would be scheduling an intro call with your firm.
Yeah, definitely. So if you go to finassetprotection.com, there's a calendar link. You can book an appointment with our firm. All our consultations are free. And you could book a 15-minute appointment. We could do it over the phone or over Zoom if you like to do a video call. And this is pretty much, we want to just see if you're on the same page with what we have in mind. We want to make sure like you've kind of researched the infinite banking concept or the bank on yourself concept. You have an idea of what to expect. Because we've just had people call before and schedule appointments that are looking for simply like loans, or they're looking for like other things. We work specifically, even though our clients are mostly real estate investors, we work specifically with the infinite banking concept for real estate investors.
Understood. Well, that's awesome. And that takes us into step 3, which is, go through a financial analysis.
Yeah, definitely. So Sean, there's a lot of different companies out there, and then each company has different products, and each one of those products has different funding amounts. Some of them can be funded, monthly or annually, or a one-time payment. So it's hard for us to kind of judge which product and company would be the best for the client. So it's really important that we do a thorough financial analysis that gives us a more thorough idea of which company and which product and which amounts would be most feasible for the client to meet their financial objectives.
You can also throw your name into a drawing to win our $3,000 software called PIN that pinpoints all of the best deals in any market and all of the most active buyers and private lenders as well. So it's the one piece of software you need to find any type of deal, whether it's an apartment complex or a single family house. If you're looking for it, it's inside PIN, and we're going to give it to one of our lucky listeners who visit exactlyhow.com. If you're watching this live, go ahead and go there right now. We haven't picked the name yet. Throw your name into the hat and you might be walking away with this software.